Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to America's Morning Headquarters. All eyes are on Hurricane Ian as it slowly approaches Cuba and then gets into the Gulf. And man, atmospheric conditions are ripe for this thing to explode in size. We've actually seen the size of it gain size or get bigger as of this morning. You can actually see that in the loop here. Specifically this morning, we're really starting to see the center of it come to fruition as it's just west of the Cayman Islands. Now, it will take the whole day into tonight to get into Cuba. And then as we go into tomorrow, we'll be looking at landfall in the morning hours. And then, of course, throughout the day, we'll watch it approach the western side of the Sunshine State. So you can see historically what the track has been doing. Now we've got that northwesterly turn, and eventually could it head due north? We'll be watching that closely because the cone, after it gets to Cuba, kind of widens out a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is going to happen within the next 24 hours. Flooding likely and some big rainfall totals could be expected areas west of Havana. All right, we could be looking at a half a foot of rain or more. You know, we'll be looking at some conditions, some hurricane force conditions or tropical storm force conditions getting close to not just the Cayman Islands, but up into Cuba as well. So today's going to be a day where they feel those impacts. We'll kind of learn a lot as it skirts over that, you know, that little landmass there. And it is moving pretty swiftly, so it doesn't look like we're going to have a ton of problems disturbing the system itself, which is why it continues, as you can see, gaining strength as it works its way northward. And then maybe, Stephanie, as it gets closer to that, you know, the jet stream or the trough up above into that stationary front, maybe that could help deter it a little bit as it makes landfall. But still, you got to think. I mean, we go from a Category 4, even if it downgrades a little bit, it still has a lot of juice with it.
Oh, absolutely. Listen. A Cat 2 is no joke. Remember, Puerto Rico was just dealing with a Category 1 hurricane that was scraping like the southwest side of the island. So keep that all in mind. Clearwater Beach, Florida is one of the places that will be seeing the impacts. And Jim, I think that's a really good point to make, as a lot of people say, oh, if it's not going to be a Category 3, forget it. Or even if it is a Category 3, I'll be fine. No, even I've seen tropical storms, well-defined tropical storms will knock you off.
Abrams, I got one word for you.
What's
Ike.
that? Yeah.
Ike.
2.
You remember
it was
Big
a 2.
Cat 2?
Yep.
That acted like a 4 with its surge, and I mean, good Lord.
Galveston
yeah,
Island.
So to exactly your point, to your points, you know, don't focus on the category. Seriously, because you're going to get in trouble if you do that. All right, guys, if you heard Kevin Guthrie, my interview with the Florida Emergency Management Director, he was talking about how he's worried about all these new people that have come to Florida. Well, I actually talked to the mayor of Clearwater Beach last night, and this is who he's worried about.
The newcomers have never been through storms, but we've had numerous near misses in the Tampa Bay area. So people who have been here a long time think they've got it all under control, and oftentimes they are complacent, and then they put themselves in harm's way.
Yeah, not a good idea, guys. They're all different. I can promise you, just like Steph and I and Jordan have been talking about all morning. All right, let's talk about Grand Cayman. We can actually see this thing on radar. Every once in a while, we'll get a nice little radar to help us see these things out there, whether it's Bermuda that helps us out with their weather service. Obviously, Puerto Rico is ours anyway, but Grand Cayman's helping us out this morning. Look at the eye of that thing. All right, you can see it, and you can see how far the center is away from Grand Cayman. So you're matching that with the fact that, you know, you got some squally weather down there, but they're kind of in that slot where there's not much going on. The first rain band is kind of outside to the north of Grand Cayman, and then, if you will, the inner workings of the hurricane, which are just getting organized now, are coming together. Well, let's talk about this, because here we are again in Pinellas County, where, as you heard from Kevin, there's going to start to become evacuations today. It's going to be special needs. It is going to be non-residents, so people on vacation. Why? Because you have something that's going to blow up into a Cat 4 hurricane. And it's going to come eerily close to this area. That's why. All right, so let's talk about where it goes from here. It makes its way, again, across Cuba, into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. The big question is, where is it going to be within that cone? Remember, this is a track cone. If it's on the east side of that track cone, if you're watching us in Cape Coral, in Fort Myers, in Bonita Springs, you have a lot higher impacts. You have a lot higher surge potential, maybe even rain potential, depending on how it stalls. If it goes north of me here in Pinellas County, or you know, north of the Tampa Bay area and pushes all that water up into Tampa Bay, those are huge impacts. If it stays in the center point of the cone, you're talking about a center that goes near Cedar Key. That's today. as I'm talking to you right now. But storm surge watches are posted, as we do expect some component of surge for just about everybody. And that's why they're making preparations here on Sand Key, which is where I am. So 6 to 9 feet. That easily includes Zone A. So if you're in Zone A, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be asked to evacuate, all right? And you can see where that is. Zone A is the red color on the graphic and through here. And, I mean, look at all those areas that are low-lying. And, again, as I mentioned earlier, this is 2022. This isn't 1970 where all this was sand. Now every little inch of sand is covered by a structure or a piece of asphalt. So there's a lot of people in play here. Going down, you talk about Port Charlotte. Venice on the coast, that's a low-lying area as well. And then you're talking about Bonita Springs, Naples, and Marco Island, as we mentioned earlier. Again, that's if something travels on the east side of the cone. We're going to need to do some mandatory evacs there. Either way, be ready, because you're talking about a system that is going to slow as it makes its way through the day on Wednesday. Slowing storm means a raining storm and also one that continues to push the water. Don't be caught off guard on this one.